Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
How's it
Happy to be
going?
here.
Yeah,
Go-
absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I'm happy. I'm really, really happy and really excited to have you on this on Wondercast because Sarah, you're not only a content creator, you're also an amazing entrepreneur with several companies, sorry, and you're doing so many different partnerships and collaborations, and I think you're like literally an expert in the creator space. So I'm super excited to have you on board.
I'm honored to be here. Hopefully, I can share some advice that will help others also be able to thrive in this industry that is very new. So, yeah, let's talk
Okay,
about it.
let's go. So, we started, we had the opportunity to connect through Wonder because you have your videos on Wonder and you just joined as a creator. But I think I want to,
Mhm.
do a little bit of a throwback and get you to the very, very beginning when you just started as a content creator. Tell me a little bit, what did you
Yeah.
have in your mind? Did you think you will become an influencer on YouTube? Tell me about your journey.
Yeah, so I was working at Disney Theatrical, and it was kind of my dream job at the time. But I realized that I wasn't really able to travel as much as I wanted to travel. So I saw that there were people that were posting on Instagram, and they had these like very fabulous looking lives. And so I heard that you could possibly make money from this, but it wasn't a well-known thing at the time. But I just knew that like I had a feeling that this would kind of emerge into something more than it really was at the time. So I decided to save all my money. I quit my job in 2017. I had $11,000 in my bank account, which
Wow.
is um, it's not a lot if you think about the fact that I've been working in the corporate world for like 6 years and living in New York City. That's how it was so expensive to live in New York City that literally that's all I was able to save in 6 years,
Right.
um, which is not good, by the way, given the circumstances. I know in other countries, $11,000 can get you a lot more. Not in New York City. Let's just say that. Not in New York City. So I quit, and me and my now husband traveled the world for an entire year, living in a different country each month. And at the time, I thought, man, I'm gonna like build this business. It's gonna be thriving by the time the year is up. And I got back with $300 left in my bank account, no further along my journey, and I was just so lost. And during my travels, I learned really how to travel really well and what people actually need to know when traveling. And so when I got back to New York, I had to move in with my parents at 29, and I was like, this is embarrassing. Um, and I decided I'm going to start a YouTube channel all about helping people that live in New York City, live in New York City and also travel in New York City with actual advice on
Wow,
what you
that
need to
was
know.
2017?
So I That was 2018. Yeah. So this was 2018. So I started the YouTube channel in, I believe it was like January or February of 2018. I put out a video every week about visiting New York. So whether it would be like things you need to know before visiting New York, best things to do in New York City. And I did this every week for 5 months. And nothing caught on until I posted a video called New York's Worst Tourist Traps. And that video went viral. And what happens when a video goes viral on YouTube is when someone watches a viral video, YouTube will recommend other videos from that creator. And so all of a sudden, people were watching this video that were planning on visiting New York or living in New York, and then they got served all these other videos from me about other tips in New York. So people started binge watching my content. This was June 2018. And within like a month, my channel growth exploded. I was growing at like 7,000 a month, which
Wow.
was crazy since I literally only had like 2,000 subscribers from trying to do this for 6 whole months very unsuccessfully. And this is when things really kicked off very quickly for me. So again, let's just remember I've been trying now for 18 months straight, and it was in the month 18 that things actually happened. So the lesson here is it takes a long time to do this. You can't give up early on. You need to just stick to it and learn from your mistakes and do more of the things that work well and less of the things that don't work well. And so that's kind of the model I did, was I just kept everything, every time anything
Iterating,
did well, I was
basically
like, okay, I'm going to do
experimenting.
more of that. Exactly. I was like, I'm going to do more of that. I'm going to do more of that. So then at the end of 2018, um, I was getting so many requests from people on YouTube saying, "Hey, do you offer tours of New York? Like, would you, if I book you, like, can I pay you to give me a tour of New York?" And I had never been a tour guide. I have certainly had been on tours in New York City and all around the world, so I knew what makes a great tour and what doesn't make a great
Oh, wow.
tour. So
Right.
yeah, so I started offering tours. I became a licensed guide in December 2018. I did one tour. It was the most nerve-wracking experience of my life. I'm pretty sure it was probably the worst tour I've ever gave. It was a private tour with a family with two kids, and it was exhausting. And I was like, oh my God, am I sure that I want to do this? But it was an income stream, right? Um, and around the same time as that, it's important to emerging creators to understand how to monetize your social media, because monetization is the only way that you can continue doing this. Otherwise, you have to get a job.
Right. And then you
So
can't focus on
at
this
that
full
time,
time.
I had went, yeah, and at that time, I had went from like just creating content and doing really small things. Like I would do things for free in exchange for hotel stays just because I needed the content. Um, but by the end of December of 2018, I had multiple revenue streams that I had created. So one revenue stream was ad revenue from YouTube. The next one was sponsorship revenue from brands sponsoring my channel. And by the way, at this time, I didn't understand what you could charge for things. So I was definitely undercharging.
Wow. Well, Sarah, a lot of younger creators are looking at you right
Uh-huh.
now and listening to this podcast. And I would be very happy if you could elaborate a little bit about the strategies you used when you were a smaller creator and how this changed over time.
Oh, yes. This is the one of, I would say, the most important topic. Creating obviously is the essence of it, but if you can't monetize your content, you cannot do your content for long because you're going to have to get a job doing something else. Um, my biggest strategy for monetization is don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's like a saying. So don't only focus on one revenue stream. You should start a bunch of different revenue streams. And as you grow, all of those revenue streams will grow. And all of those revenue streams will make you a lot of money if you're doing it, if you're doing everything right. So there's several, I have a lot of revenue streams at this point, but the first ones I recommend creators in the early stages focus on is affiliate revenue. Is a really simple way to just get your roots when you're a creator. So sign up for affiliate platforms like you guys, for example. It's a great example of an affiliate platform. Um, at first, you're not going to make a lot, but as you grow as a creator, that will compound and you will make a lot. Like affiliate revenue for me now could be a full-time salary for someone. And I started out small and it grew large. So this is just something that you should start immediately. There's many affiliate platforms. If you're a travel creator, Wander is a great example of that for a travel content creator. But there's other platforms too that that are more product based, like Amazon affiliate platform. Anytime you talk about anything, this cup, for example, you can link that to Amazon. Commission Junction is a separate platform, but it depends. Reward Style is great for clothing, so it just depends on your niche. So get an affiliate platform. Um, I would also recommend looking into how you can add ad revenue. Do you have a blog? If you have a blog, join Google AdSense. If you have a YouTube channel, get that channel monetized. Instagram and TikTok are now having creator platforms where they actually monetize your content. I will tell you right now, they don't pay well, but they do monetize your content. YouTube is the biggest money maker for ad revenue. Another great example is sponsorship revenue. That's going to be the best monetization platform. You can make a lot of money off sponsorships very easily. And one of the last ones that are super simple to make money once you create the product or service is products and services. So I have a course on how to build a business. I have a tour company where we sell tours of New York. We also do vacation planning in New York City. I also created PDF guides that are essentially like neighborhood guides of various neighborhoods in New York that I sell for little small amounts of money. And once you put that stuff on your website, it just makes money for you. So those are four really great ways to get your roots when monetizing your content.
Yeah, so I actually, so we talked a little bit about monetization, which is great, and we asked, what would be the best sources for creators to learn how to become entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And you started with saying that this podcast, for example, is a really good example of how creators can learn.
Right.
But is there any other sources you think that would be, beneficial for creators to do that?
Yeah. So when I was learning how to do this, there was no manual at all. There was no podcast. There was none of that. So I'm actually kind of jealous of creators now because there's so many more resources to teach you how to do this. One of the ways you can learn how to do this is my course. Not, I really did not plan on plugging it, but that's like a legitimate way that you can learn how to do
Right,
it
right.
because I teach creators how to monetize their business, mainly focused on social media. Another way is you can simply Google it. I know that sounds like, wow, that's like too simplistic, but seriously, that's how I started doing this. Every time I encountered a problem, I would Google it and do research. That takes a lot more time. That's why I do recommend more like intensive courses on monetization at this point because it just all the information you need is there. You don't have to be looking for it. So if you're interested in possibly taking my course, it's all on my website, sarahfunky.com. Another way you can do it, which is one of the ways I did because there was no courses. I have an MBA in entrepreneurship. That's an extreme example. I don't think you need to do that necessarily, but it definitely helped me learn to diversify my income streams and how to monetize things and to think of this not as just content creation, but think of this as a business. Most people that don't succeed in this don't think of it as a business. And unfortunately, you have to think of it as a business because unless you monetize your content, you can't create content for long because you're going to run out of money. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Those are my best
Um,
tips of advice.
so that's really great because I think like we're covering the whole journey of a creator, and but
Mm-hmm.
I want to do like a big leap, and you've had the opportunity to observe. And by the way, I think you're super brave because starting in 2018 a YouTube channel when there's so many other content creators, it's crazy because you really are an amazing content creator if you had the chance to to stand out and outstand other creators, which is big. And but I want you started in 2017, 18, and you had the chance to
Mm-hmm.
observe this space for a few years now. How do you
Mm-hmm.
envision the future of content creation, of content online, of travel content in general? Get me there a little bit.
Yeah, so I've seen some trends lately of just people really liking more relatable, real, not super refined content. Short form video is absolutely the future. I'm not a fan of short form video, so I have to learn to accept that. But it seems that all platforms are pointing towards that direction. We have TikTok, we have Instagram Reels, we have YouTube Shorts. All of these things indicate to me that short form video is the future. Also, making things just more simplistic. Like, if you look at TikTok, it's not super produced. It's just normally people like being real, and it seems like that's what people want. Now, integrating that with what creates content that inspires people, that keeps people's attention, you know? So integrating those elements of like what makes a viral video and keeping the content real, I think will lead to success these days. As far as advertising, I think the trends show, I'm not even saying I think, the trends are showing that ad revenue and ad spend is going more and more into influencer marketing than traditional media sources. So I do expect the influencer world to continue for quite some time at this current point. But it's always changing, and you always have to be ready to adapt to it because last year Instagram Reels was still like thing people are like, oh, I don't know. And the year before that, there were no Instagram Reels. And now every time, I'm telling you right now, every time I get a sponsored campaign, they're only interested in video. Whereas last year it was all about photos. So you have to be ready to adapt and shift constantly. If something's not working, stop right now and try something else. Don't waste any time. The world's moving too fast for that.
Right, and I think we'll
Yeah.
summarize this amazing podcast with this great quote, because I do think that adapting is a big key, especially in our technology, when
Mm-hmm.
technology is changing so much. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your time. Thank you for taking the time to give all of these amazing insights and tips to other creators. And yeah, it
Oh,
was
of
great chatting with
course.
you.
You too. And I hope that everyone that's listening, you know, just do it. That's my biggest piece of advice to you. Most people talk about wanting to do this and never actually do it, but you never know what might happen if you do. You don't want to look back at your life and say, what if? You know,
Let's go. Words of wisdom.
that's my
Thank
biggest
you
piece
so
of advice.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. Lovely chatting.